24-hour LDC 2023. I'm liking it. Time for the Tomato Johnson entry then. I felt like I already had that. Mario, your new hat sucks. Why are you wearing it? That's horrid. I love it. I thought the one I played last time was a Tomato Johnson entry, but it turned out not to be, so. Eraserhead. Interesting. That's a different title. Okay. You know what? I thought that the statement about the hat was just a random shitpost, but I get it now. I get it. This is cute. Haha! Victory is mine. Hat victory is mine. Okay, what am I trying to accomplish here? I hit that, what happens? I think I want to get rid of these two, but keep the spring. I also want to not get hit by the disco shell. Okay. I have no idea how this applies to any of the Game & Watch levels, but I'm ready to learn. Yeah, I'm curious to find out if Tomato Johnson actually bothered. Like, maybe he's kind of decided to move on and do something else with his life. Which would probably be the healthy thing at this point. But we'll only find out when we get there. How could anyone say that's anything but the peak of fashion? I don't know. I mean, to be fair, if I could get away with it, I might consider it. The weird multi-hat fashion thing is not common outside of TF2. And that one book that I learned about on Reading Rainbow back in the day, about a man who would wear multiple hats on days that he was sad. And of course, there was one day that was a 3-hat day, and man, that was not a good day for him. So, I think he eventually met a lady who also liked to wear multiple hats, and therefore everything worked out for him, or something like that. Okay, I think I see what they want me to do. No, I don't. Okay, that last one's tricky. It's really tricky. That's a cool gimmick level, though. DMX has ruined and improved Reading Rainbow forever. I'm kind of afraid to ask. DMX is in The Rapper. Is it X gonna give it to you? Oh boy. You know, I think I'm thinking about... No, maybe nothing about it wrong. Do your research on your own time? Alright. Curious. Very curious. What if I could one cycle that? Okay. Yeah, I thought so. Wait, what? I despawned him. What was the point of that, then? Oh! Oh, this is more like the thing Faro wanted to do. Does it actually work? Can I lift up the stuff? I can lift up things. Oh, man. This is a level like Faro wanted to make. You know, made with more hats. Oh, that's a... I thought that was death for a second. That was death. I just wasn't paying enough attention. Interesting. Oh, I see what I have to do now. That's cute. I think I'm safe. And you just get these out of the well. Oh, this is so cool. How can you translate your SM to post in Discord? Don't speak UTF-8. You could try. I don't know. How you doing, Fries? What am I? Wait, what? What am I trying to accomplish here? Did I accomplish what I set out to do on accident? Actually confused about this part. I don't know. I think that this must have gotten nerfed or something. Oh god, so much. I'm gonna guess Ferpy. I'm just gonna guess Ferpy right now. If I must make a guess. Oh. Alright, so how long do I have to maintain this? That's a long fucking way. This is gonna take a while. Dear Lord. Alright. Well, noted. Alpha Kenny 1. Solid guess for context you don't know the authors. Alright. I don't mind other people guessing as long as they don't actually know. This just kind of reminds me of Ferpy's QLDC, this year QLDC entry. A little bit. Not a bad thing. Ah, dang it. It's easy. Okay, this is mostly set up in such a way that it's not so bad. Just watching. Ah! I went too fast again. It's by the Mad Hatter. Oh, I like that. Well played. Oh. But yeah, translating it out of Japanese, you can understand some other things that they're changing. I'd say the biggest one on that page of interest is, like, if you time your hits well enough, you do a multi-hit, which is an AoE attack for some reason. Which is just interesting. I don't know if the game needs it, but, eh. Oh, come on. Willing to give it a shot. Definitely willing to give it a shot. Right, Yellow Koopa's turn around. I saw that brief tick. He doesn't know how to wear hats. He's very confused by this concept. Just staring up into the void that is the bottom of the hat. Wondering if he could have felt differently. I would definitely speed up combat a little bit. I'm just curious, you know, if it unbalances the game, depending upon how they decide to move things over. Like, SMRPG is such a well-designed game that, like, they could easily run almost all the systems out of the ROM if they wanted to. It's all just bytecode. Right, I can't jump over that. Like, the battle system could more or less be left alone. The scripting engine, you'd have to re-implement the engine part. But they could leave the scripts alone if they wanted to. It's an option. Of course, the problem is, like, they measure everything in pixels, but they could change that to a different type of thing if they needed to. Oh, they might screw up the remake, you never know, but it looks pretty decent so far. I kind of wonder if they are using a lot of the old, like they found a lot of the old concept art. I don't think they're using the original vertices, object files. Like the original sets of vertices, triangle meshes, and all that. But I'm kind of wonder if they have access to some of them, because things look right. Either they put a lot of work into making things look just as they did. Because remember, like, everything was being rendered on SGI workstations. How much further is it from here? Oh god, it's a fair bit further, too. and then turned into SNES tiles. So, like, they had higher resolution things. Certainly they didn't have, like, good textures. Certainly they could have had more polygons, but, you know, if you're going to render them in a certain style, they'd still look okay in this day and age. But, of course, knowing how Nintendo and most Japanese companies operated back then, it's highly unlikely anybody kept any of that around, which is kind of a bummer. I didn't jump. The pan sound is much worse. That was like the first thing I noticed. Surprised they didn't make things bland as they did with Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario. Square telling Nintendo to stay away from it. That might be a good thing. But they changed the enemies in Mario and Luigi and Paper Mario to absolute bland, to stuff it being more easily sold. Yeah. I felt like an awful lot of the enemies in Mario RPG were just like people dicking around with the SGI equivalent of 3D Max. And just being like, hey, look at me, I made this thing! Like, okay, cool, we'll call it Baba Yaga and we'll stick it in the desert. Cool. Ah. I just want to die. But there's an awful lot of weird enemies in that game, like Zara Dragon, where I just feel like someone was messing around in 3D Max and they came up with something cool. Maybe not Zara Dragon, like I feel like the bosses were probably planned. But a lot of the incidental enemies have the I made this in 3D, learning how to 3D-ass feel to them. Okay. I wonder if the Diagonal Mario is making this harder. I waited too long. I was curious how I failed there. Chain Donkey Kong alike. Well, I kind of figured they took the Donkey Kong alike straight up from Rare. Like, Rare was also working on SGI workstations at the time, and so their models of Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong and so forth would have all been accessible, at least usable by other people in the organization. Oh god, no, you've made it worse. Thanks. I did it again, I went too far. Stop complaining. Stop whining now, I mean it. Put the cookie down. But I'm gonna buy it day one. I'll be completely honest. I'll probably take the day off or something and play it. Don't know if it'll be on stream. I might be on the other side of the country at that point. I think it's coming out like mid-November or something. And going and getting all of my stuff working to capture Switch stuff on the other side of the country would be kind of an irritating thing to have to do. That was a new PB at least. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. And by slow and steady, I mean at approximately the pace that this wants me to go at, because I don't have much of a choice. It's not like we have a choice. Oh no, just November's when Thanksgiving is. I often go visit family during Thanksgiving. Like, when I'm on the other side of the country and still stream, it's usually PC, quote-unquote PC games, because that's easy to capture without having to have too much extra setup. Like, doing Switch would be a pain at, say, my mother's house. Have to bring my capture device, have to bring the Switch, have to tote out a LCD monitor that takes HDMI in. Like, just, it'd be a lot to do, as opposed to, like, my standard setup, which is plug things in and they just kind of work for the most part. Or PC setup, which does require a little more work, but it's not that bad. You're watching Dragon Ball Z? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? At least some of you are watching, like, the Kai version, where they cut out all of the interim crap that you don't really need. There's parts of DBZ that are a lot of fun, but it's definitely not my favorite shonen anime of all time. There we go. I Rushed it. That part's free. The abridged version is pretty good. I never got into DBZ abridged. I always thought Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged was the only abridged for me, really. I did watch a little bit of Naruto abridged, because there's a bit in there where one of the characters, Kakashi, I think, is secretly David Bowie, which is kind of funny. And Snyder really wanted me to show that to me at some point. Ah! You know, it's basically free at this point. Well, plus or minus the... Plus or minus... I had a really dumb idea. We all secretly want to be David Bowie. That's true. Dragon Ball Kai is not better. You're using a GUID to skip filter and recaps. I didn't know GUIDs could do that. Don't like people scream at each other for 5 hours powering up. Yeah, I don't care so much for that. The slapstick is fun. Some of the characters are fun. But I'm good for 5-hour power-up screams. Like I said, it's not my favorite shonen anime. If I'm gonna watch a shonen anime, I'll probably watch that's long and way too long, and probably watch Yu Yu Hakusho again. Because I rather enjoy that one. Ah. Guide. Okay, that makes way more sense. I was like, GUID? How would a GUID help? I've generated a lot of GUIDs in my time, and none of them have helped me avoid filler episodes. But who knows, maybe the next one will help. Make a joke about randomizing his viewing. Well, it's always going to be consistent as long as he has the same network card. There's a fun story about Microsoft. Back in the Windows 95 days, they would ask video cards if they supported certain things by sending them down to GUID, asking if they supported this GUID tagged feature. And video cards would, well, the drivers would respond yay or nay, until they came across one that just responded with yes every single time. So to fix the problem, they came up with one random GUID by, you know, creating a random GUID and then going and smashing the network card so it would never be generated again, and passing that down. Or maybe passing a GUID based upon the NIC address down every time, so at least it's a little random. And seeing if the video card says, yes, I support that random GUID, and if it does, it knows not to trust the damn thing that video card says in the future. One of those, you think the hardware people would outsmart you there, but they're hardware people. It doesn't usually happen. Their weakness, as it turns out, is software. One jump too early. Good old Millennium puzzle cheats. Yu-Gi-Oh! The king of cheats. Ah, you know, it's fun. It's how we got Vista. Yeah. I kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! For what it is. It's silly. I will admit it's probably jumped the shark in later concepts, but I watched the entirety of the original run. Way back when. And for being silly shonen crap, it was not bad. Card games on motorcycles? I always go too fast there. On Cell Saga? Was Frieza going 100%? Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if the cliche has gotten a little bit further out there than the reality of Dragon Ball Z. But I also didn't really watch much of Dragon Ball Z. I remember watching the, like, OAVs of Dragon Ball. That was, I think, pretty fun. Close. Can't confirm. Dragon Ball Z only really works if you watch everything. That probably works well nowadays, but back when it was on Cartoon Network, being able to watch everything was kind of a challenge. I think the only anime I watched the entirety of, and that is probably stretching it on Cartoon Network, was Tenchi Muyo. And I think that was because it was only like 12 episodes, so they end up playing a lot of them over and over again. Like, watching anime on TV is not the way to be able to know what's going on. Take it from system integration and programming class hate each other. It's true. I saw bits and bobs the abridged. Otherwise, you'd only read the manga, and even that was a slog. Yeah, I wonder how long One Piece is going to go along now, given that it's probably the longest-running anime of all time, I suspect. And probably will be for a number of years to come. So I'm going to have to focus on this part, and to not jump into the munchers. Especially if you want to watch One Piece. Yeah, no fucking chance there. No effing way. Dr. Conan is longer than One Piece? Really? There's an awful lot of, like, not shonen that I would not be aware of there. Maybe it's also shonen. I don't know. I'm kind of curious now what the long runner is. Arg. I got nerd sniped. It is shonen? Okay. Curious. Pick a short break hand-wise. Let's see. Case closed. Been published in Weekly Shonen Sunday since '94. Chapters collect 103 tankobon. That's a lot. That is a lot. Holy cow. Oh. That is a ridiculous number. Holy cow. It's had 2 series that were like 1,000 long. How does that even happen? That's absurd. Absolutely absurd. Oh, anime. Okay. I think there's a character from Fire Emblem. I'm not exactly sure. I just happened to look at all of the newer sprites on SMWCentral, and this was one of them. Did not require a new palette, if I recall correctly. Or maybe it did, and it was easy enough to extract because it was using MM102's stuff. Graphics design stuff, which makes it easier for me to extract palettes. Characters are easy. Palettes are hard. And anime's been going since '96. That is ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. Like, it hasn't even been running under, like, different names, right? Like, Sailor Moon has had a whole bunch of different series. It hasn't run consecutively. I don't know. That's so much. Well, think about it this way, right? If you wanted to watch it all, you assume 20 minutes per episode, which is, you know, generous, but we're doing it to do the math easier. It's 1,000 episodes. That's 20,000 minutes. 20,000 minutes is probably something close. I mean, how long is that? 20,000 minutes is a long time. I've not made this any easier. Well, actually, no, we can do this. 60,000 minutes would be 10,000 hours, so it's a third of that. Kid stupidly large glasses? I believe so, looking at the pictures on Wikipedia. I definitely recognized the kid once I saw the picture. Though the first picture, which probably came from '94, definitely did not look the same. Better play Hacker's Dreams RTA than catch up with Detective Conan. That'd be a great, like, side-by-side stream. Someone just making that their life goal. Though I don't know, how long did it take Third Wall? I think Third Wall beat at RTA, right? Or is he still at it? At least last I checked, I think he's moved on to other projects at least, but I don't know if he completed that one. Ah! He has beaten it? Okay. Now I wonder how many hours it took him, because that's probably still less time than it would take to watch all of Detective Conan. Like, I kind of want to bust out units and actually figure out how long it is in terms of, like, fractions of a year. But I can't try to do that kind of math while actually playing a game at the same time. Because we already came up with roughly 10,000 hours. 350 hours? Okay, you know what? Let's do this really quick. Let's say actually most anime somewhere in the vicinity of 23 minutes. That's 1,000 episodes. Divide by 60 to get hours. Divide by 24 to get days. It's a grand total of 16 days of runtime if I've done my math right. But, you know, that's 16 total days. So yeah, it's actually in the vicinity now that I look at it. I'm way overshot with hours. Yeah, actually, Third World did it before he would have completed Detective Conan. With my vague estimate. I mean, certainly there's probably like filler episodes or recap episodes or beach nonsense episodes you could skip. And 23 is probably assuming you watch the OP and ED. But still. Nuts. As all his room clears for people who want to see it. I might have to go see him. I might want to go watch that. I would be like curious to see how much he pops off at the end of 17F or whatever the last level's called. Absolutely beautiful level though. That is amazing to watch. Big money, no whammies. Oh, damn it. Handle the flashing, yeah. That's kind of an important detail. I have to assume its submission on SMWCentral has a nice epilepsy warning, and if it doesn't, well, probably should go add one. I'd probably go a bit on the lenient side on those. Speaking of epilepsy warnings, definitely do not watch Yu Yu Hakusho if you are remotely sensitive to that kind of animation. It definitely had a lot of that Pikachu flashing stuff going on! I'm dying here. It's my plan. Intense but hard to watch, yep. Frieza's a crazy good villain. I mean, I always find his name kind of hard to take seriously, but I'll take your word for it. Okay. Just remember the curse of early dubs and subs. They couldn't ever keep the names straight. One of the early antagonists in Yu Yu Hakusho is Lando, or is it Rando, or is it Dando? They never really kept it consistent. They just couldn't make up their mind. Okay, back over here. I think next death is going to be take a drinking break death. Okay. Oh no, I went too far. I can't even get on top of this. Not that it would help me, but I went too far. It needs that because the flash tells you when the change happens and how the next room how the room looks next. I don't think I realized that watching the playthrough that Anonymous Bloodlust put up. Speaking of flashing, I really should put a chat hacks on the calendar. I've been avoiding it because I've been lazy. I'm thinking July 1st. Don't quite have a 3-day weekend there, but it'll still work out. And by that I mean I'm more serious than I have been the last few non-committal times. I'm like, oh, I should do that. And they're like, July 1st. Is this Dota 2? It's a weird game mode. It's kind of like ARAM or something. How you doing, Billy Goat? We're just talking about anime and epilepsy and this level because I haven't made any progress in a while. It's a simple enough concept. The X's will eat any sprites they encounter, and I need this coin block, or this eating block, to get all the way to the end. Which, now that I think about it... Oh, no. Alright, this is clearly looks like Mario Maker level, but in Super Mario World. Oh, it's not... it's a Mario World hack. It's actually a level for a level design contest. So people use the the SMW hacking tool called Lunar Magic to design levels, and they submit them to this specific contest, and I'm judging this contest. People do a lot of that. The Mario Maker pins are not part of the level itself. That's part of my tech. I do an awful lot of weird hacking things, and so the Mario Maker death pins are something I have implemented so people can see where I've died, using the power of USB on the SD to SNES. Now, you couldn't do this stuff in Maker. I mean, I guess if you hacked Maker, you could, but that would defeat the purpose now, wouldn't it? Having your own custom build of Maker would not make this any easier for other people to play. Now, I imagine that if someone did make a custom build of it and, you know, convinced, I don't know, Panga and Juz to use it, maybe. Carl. Other Mario Maker type peoples who still play that. The Bald Man. I legitimately haven't watched Mario Maker in so long, I don't even know who still plays it. Super Mario Wonder looks interesting, though. I'm kind of hoping that turns out well. It's been a while since I've been looking forward to games coming out, and now there's a bunch that I'm actually kind of excited about that are coming out in the next year or so. Like, sure, there's Steam wishlist games, but then there's ones that I'm actually going to, like, stop whatever I'm doing and actually go and play. Mario RPG Remake, Mario Wonder, Everhood 2, then Broken Reality 2000. I'll probably have to replay the original to get back in the Vaporwave spirit of it. Alright, here we go, we got a shot. No, I don't have a shot! Other USB magic stuff that's going on. The character for this was actually supposed to be Mario, but instead we're someone from, I believe, Fire Emblem. One of the channel point rewards things is being able to change the character at runtime. And I have a lot of characters in that list now. Some of the people still haven't seen. I was looking at my my list of characters, and I'm like, oh, yeah, no one's ever seen that one. Because there's some that only show up if you roll random. And people don't roll random all that often. Ah, dang it. Bit to the right. Oh, not Fire Emblem. Valis? That's right, Valis. Thank you. I haven't played that one either. I think that's a PC 88 game? 98 game? One of those sorts of things. I just saw the blue hair and was like, oh yeah, Fire Emblem. Because I didn't remember whom. This is not my room. Yeah, once you said it, it rung the bell. I'm pretty sure it's like one of those very well-beloved, like, otaku games in Japan series, but not one you hear too much about on the other side of the pond. I had time to maneuver there and I didn't take it. I think some sort of like sword Sword and Shield type game. Probably has some very fan servicey scenes would be my guess, but I don't really know. I just kind of assume most games on PC 88, 98 have that property. They're also not easy to get working. Like, the emulators for it are pretty obscure. Oftentimes you're downloading from some weird Japanese website, sometimes hosted on Japanese GeoCities, because that was still a thing long after GeoCities died. Instructions are all in Japanese, so good luck understanding them. Requires 3 other executables and binaries that come from other Japanese GeoCities websites, because of course they do. I can make this work. Goodbye, room. I see how this room works now. I need to keep it alive. Oh, this is so weird. And looking at this, I think the right solution is always just move slowly. Alright, that was not the right solution at all. Need to stop doing that. One thing you never understand about Japanese culture, everything with technology for ease of use is stuck in the 80s, yet they got the most advanced shit everywhere. They're a very conservative culture. They don't really care to change things that work. Like, that's not a bad thing. Change for change's sake is not always a great idea. Oh, nuts. Gotta do a very short jump there. Gonna kind of like fall off here with the regrab. This room's gonna take a while. One of my favorite things about Japan, this was like 2010, was that they still used calculators everywhere to show you how much money you owed for whatever. It makes me wonder if like Japan was the only place on Earth still buying like 4-function calculators. Because really, why else would you ever need a 4-function calculator? Oh, this is nasty. Yeah, it was the shell or me. Just look at Twitch. Exactly. Exactly. Nuts. Oh. Yeah, I have no idea who made this. I think I said Ferpy earlier, but I don't think it's Ferpy now. I don't know. I just don't know. You know, if I took that other shell with me, I might be able to cheese some sections. Let's try it! Alright, well I could choose one section. That's not really enough. It's not you. You would have put slopes on your head rather than flat ground. That's true. That is true. You would have done that. There would have been like diagonal green beans above me, impacting me in some god-awful way. I don't know enough about disco shell movement to make this easy. Other than like, I should just take it easy when possible. Okay. Don't know why I did that. Alright, so how much it passed this? And of course, no, it doesn't eat the hammers. So I'll get it back up here, use it to activate that. keep the shell alive so I can break this. Don't do that ever. Scroll isn't on, I can't tell what the next parts are. Okay, well. But even then, like, whenever people thought about, like, the dream of Japanese technology overtaking the world, it didn't really do it as much as you'd expect. Like, for instance, the whole idea of, like, tiny Japanese phones. Yeah, that came and went. Now we just have big honkin' tablets that we all carry around in our pockets for some reason. The curmudgeon here, of course, recently got his iPhone SE re-batteried because I don't want a bigger phone. But, like, the dream of small technology kind of died there, which is weird. You're gonna move fast, make sure it's on your backside so it actually follows you, so you don't have to turn around. Interesting. I'm not sure that's enough for me to do something useful with, but we'll see. Stop doing that! Needs a new phone and don't know what you want? Yeah. I fear that day when I have to actually join the crowd of people who need new phones and actually have to buy them. Because I like the one I got! It works! It's a reasonable size! I mean, sure, it doesn't have anywhere near enough storage capacity anymore, but that being said, it still works well enough. Down. Alright, cool. I screwed that up. I screwed that up hard. I screwed that up hard. There's the orb. Alright, I assume this room's not nearly as bad as the prior one. I know what to do for most of it. I just have to execute. And by execute, I mean go slow. Like, going slow actually answers most of my problems here. Never got trolled by that one, at least. Really feel that should have gotten Et, but I'm okay with it not being Et. Oh, I got hammer trolled. Like yours with the batteries dying, after looking up a bit, if you weren't expecting to get a new battery, it's stupid. Yeah. That's one of the big bummers of this sort of thing, is that, like, getting things fixed often costs more than buying things new. I have a backpack that I like, that I got from Google, and one of the zippers finally failed on me a couple years ago. And I finally decided, nuts to this, I'm going to get this fixed. Found the one place in town that does backpack and other zipper repair. They looked at it and said, it's going to cost more to fix this than the dang thing will cost than buying a new one. I'm like, I don't care. I like it. I don't want to get a new one. But yeah, it's a hard thing to live by because of that sort of thing. Suggest a Lumia. In terms of backpacks or phones? Unfortunately, I've bought into the Apple universe, and so I probably wouldn't get a phone that's not an iPhone. Just because of the utility I get from having both a Mac and an iPhone together at last. But here we go. Down. Don't do that! I just kind of wanted to see what running would do for me, and the answer is nothing good. Phone, the old Nokia Windows phones. Bizarrely enough, I actually had a conversation with my mother earlier this month about Windows phones. And she's like, yeah, I really liked my Windows phone. I'm like, yeah, you and Squiggles, but no one else. Everyone else didn't care for them. Now, Microsoft was way too late to the game in terms of phone stuff. Like, Windows CE Blue Anyone who ever used one of those pocket computing devices they had, because Palm Pilot was a different brand entirely, would tell you that. And by the time they had something worth using, it was too late. The iPhone had won. But if Microsoft had been more on the ball, they probably would have taken away a decent part of the chunk of the market. Kind of like how BlackBerry had all of the market in that specific space until the iPhone came out. And then it ceased to exist in its entirety. Yep. Which was probably a relief to some people who were really tired of people making rim job jokes. That one hammer gets me. I just need to go for it. Those? Yeah, those were shit. Like, absolutely shit. Hell, I got one for free and I didn't end up using it at all. This was not very useful for doing things. Really wasn't until you got the internet on them. And that's sort of where the iPhone came in to make the idea of using the internet on your phone a palatable concept. Because prior to that, like, using the internet on an IKEA feature phone was painful and expensive. Like, the amount you got charged for data was insane back in the day. Yeah, no one ever really invested in app support for it. I think there was sort of the dream of Sega providing support via, like, Dreamcast compatibility, but that certainly never panned out. That was not the Windows CE partnership that everyone was hoping for. I know what to do. Also, wire phone's different in different countries. Like, you want NFC on your phone for ease of blood sugar monitor when you get... So when you Google phones, you have to... It's like one in Europe, but not in the US. They won't tell you which version is sold in Canada. Because different schemas, market segmentation, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. NFC seems like it'd just be useful to have by default. I saw a kind of cool bit where, like, someone was tearing down one of the, like, an iPhone 14 and showed off that there's a big plastic box where the SIM card reader would have been. Which is just kind of sad, really. Yeah, just going for it there works a lot better. Okay. Prepare. That one doesn't need a second lap. Definitely doesn't. Oh, that was something. Orb, indeed. A torb. Alright, let me do some writing. What's up, Random Type? How you doing? What are your eyes seeing? The overworld is composed mainly of parts of the alphabet, which I will admit is not ideal. But mostly you're seeing Mario's funny hat.